want that car, drive, drive, drive to wherever jazz lives, and I sing because
So it's interesting, as we get ready to talk about this album, I want to know, and we touched on it a little bit with COVID. It was such a pivotal time period for all of us. How did you ultimately get through that time period as an artist? And how has it either influenced the release of this album or the way that you do things now?
As far as its influence of this album, I don't think it's tremendously influencing because, as I said, I think people have migrated back to the way they were doing things before at
Yeah.
this juncture with COVID. COVID's a little bit behind us now, but during COVID, I was in the process of starting a recording my 2022 release, Players, and it was halfway through when COVID locked down. And I had to make a choice between, and actually, the way that it was recorded, I decided I was going to record in each region of the United States with a different set of master artists. So the project was basically 4 recording sessions. And I was scheduled to go to Chicago, and they were locking down everything. And I had to make a decision. Am I going to go to Chicago or am I going to stop? And I felt like that was my last recording to finish this project. I was just going to go and make the best of it and see how it shaked out, or how it shook out rather. And it turned out very well. Players featuring Reggie Workman, Julian Priester, Bernard Purdy, Bobby Sanabria, Julian Priester, who else? Marcus. Well, I can't think of all the names now, but there are 32 different artists on that project.
Yeah.
And it made it to number 7 on Jazz Week. Now, this project, I didn't want to have to work that hard. So, and I wanted to try something different that I'd never done before. So this time I worked with a producer, Lonnie Plaxico is producing this project. And I recorded mostly in New York with New York musicians, but I also did a couple of recordings in my home area, Seattle, Washington.
So before we get into the album, I'm curious. I'm getting kind of nostalgic here thinking about it. What has been some of the more momentous things that's happened to you in the last 9 years since we interviewed the first time and to right now? If you really think about how things have transpired in your career, what are you the happiest about?
Well, I think becoming more known has
Yeah.
made me happy, because becoming more known means I have an opportunity to share my music with a wider audience. And at the end of the day, the most critical thing for me is not rankings or anything else. It's about being able to stand in front of people and share stories with them in the form of my original songs, see their expressions, and hear them talk to me afterwards about how much it relates to their life and how much they appreciate it. That's what gets me up and keeps me going when everything else is going wrong. So I'm happy for that accomplishment, to have an opportunity to perform before a larger arena of performances or over a larger market. I performed in New York, a few venues for the first time, Minton's Playhouse, place up in upstate New York, performed in Chicago, performed in Dallas, Texas, performed in Seattle as well. But for me, prior, when I was talking with you, I'd only performed in the Seattle region.
Yeah.
But then from there, I went on to go to Denver and so many other places to meet so many other people and to realize how different and vast the locations were and how similar and the same we are in terms of the people that I met and the experiences that I shared with them. So that is the most momentous thing for me, is being able to reach a larger audience. And those people are still following me. People that latched onto me in 2015, they're still following me and talking to me on Facebook and on my social media pages. So that's been important. And then, of course, it's nice to get recognition in the industry. I was named Vocalist of the Year a couple of times by Earshot Jazz and was inducted to the Seattle Jazz Hall of Fame, made the rankings in terms of Jazz Week. What was really cool was that you think about all the music that was released over a year, that Jazz Week picks the top 100 albums of the year, and mine made it to number 30. I mean, what the hey? I'm an independent artist. I'm not on a label. I don't have any big names behind me. I don't have any family lineage saying, hey, her dad was this or her mom was that. I'm just someone striving hard to share my art and share my vision with other people. And for it to be received in that manner, get that degree of validation, it's encouraging. So, but I have to make it not be the main thing, because at the end of the day, my value is not determined by those things or those people,
Yeah.
or the people who book you or the people who don't book you. My value is determined by the quality of the music that I produce, the experiences that I share with the musicians, and ultimately the experiences that I share with my audience.
You've had it's been a unique blend of tenacity and hard work. And I know from my end of the microphone, I've seen you like every time I interview a musician, there's a special place because there's been this bond and there's been the music and I just I feel protective. There's and I always love to see where musicians go. Like I remember interviewing Samara Joy before she blew up, and my mother-in-law said something about, "Have you heard this singer?" And I was like, yeah, we interviewed about a year ago, and she was like, well, she won all these awards and all of that. And it's just interesting to see where people go. And I've seen you in many different incarnations with the awards, and there's just been an increase of your visibility out there, and you're getting to new places, and it's so cool to see because ultimately, at the end of the day, the awards and accolades aren't the goal of it, but you ultimately want more people to listen to you, and you
Right.
want people to experience your music, and it's happening, which is
Yes.
great. That's what you want to see happen.
Yes, yes. The radio airplay is important to me. I worked with Groove Marketing on my past two projects, on this one coming up and the one prior to this. And I believe they've done an excellent job in getting me greater visibility for people hearing my music. A lot of times, it's not what the quality of the music should be the only thing that matters, but it's not. It's who you know and who can talk on your behalf and be an advocate for you, and who can open doors to other people's minds and hearts to let them hear as well. And so I've worked very strategically over the past 9 years since I've seen you, to try and figure out how to increase that visibility through people who can open those doors for me and have opportunity for people to hear my music. Most of my shows, Joe, no lie, most of my shows end in standing ovations. And this is just amazing to me. Some of them I have to fight so hard to get my foot in the door. It's ask upon ask upon ask upon ask. And I keep asking until they give me a definitive no. If they hem haw around and, yeah, let me think about it, then I'm going to give them some time to think about it. Hey, what you think about that? What do you think? Here's something new for you to consider, blah, blah, blah. And I have a background in marketing communications. I don't know if you recall this or not, but my
Yeah, yeah.
undergrad and graduate degree are in marketing. So I am very good at packaging, appeals, and collateral. I made a video recently for this new project that's coming out that's identified specifically for press people. And my press agent was just floored. She said, I'm honored to work with someone like you, because they're surprised that I bring to the table, the skill set that I bring to the table, that I'm not just a singer, a songwriter, but I'm also an advanced marketing communications executive. And I still work in that field because that's the job that pays for the life that I do as a singer and songwriter.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I have, like I said, both multifaceted skill sets. It's been an advantage for me to have that. In 10 years, to have come as far as I've come, a lot of people say, wow, you've done so much in 10 years. But in my mind's eye, someone who is very Sisyphean in their actions, just constantly every day getting up, rolling that boulder up the hill.
Yep.
I'm not thinking about where I've been, but where I want to go. And I'm trying to keep going in spite of the difficulties and challenges that I face, just like everybody else does.
And where you're going is January 20th of 2025. Eugenie is the album. It's a groove-infused journey into passion, betrayal, and revenge. Get into it. Talk to me about this album.
Oh, I love the songs on this album. My originals, particularly, the first song is Why I Sing. And it talks about what brought me into this and why I do it. I love Denzel Washington. I watch all of his Equalizer stuff. I've been watching him since Soldier Story, but his most recent Equalizer films began with a quote by Mark Twain: "The most important days of your life is the day you were born and the day you realize why you were here." And that so resonates with me. And that was my motivation in writing Why I Sing, because I recognize that even though I came to this late in life and I didn't even have any aspirations to be a singer, when I discovered that I could, it brought such joy to my life that I had no choice but to pursue it. And the song talks about, and I look out in the audience and I see your faces looking back at me, and I hope to lift hearts. and that's why I sing. So that's my lead track on the song, followed up by some very beautiful string ensemble accompanied love songs, Starlight, Star Bright, Nothing Better, which Lonnie Plaxico really, you can really hear bass in Nothing Better. And I love that song. And then I did some standards like a work song. And I had to throw that It Don't Mean a Thing in there, but I Eugeneized it, as I like to say, just because the song's been done 50 million times. But if you're going to do it again, you should bring something different to the table. And you have to put songs like that in your lineup because there's certain songs or certain shows that they only feature those types of songs. They won't include anything original, which is kind of an oxymoron for someone who's a singer-songwriter to have to contend against that. But most of my recordings are original songs, and I've published 32 songs at this date, and this album is going to have 6 new originals on there, as well as I had the audacity to do Aretha Franklin. You know, oh my God, why am I brain farty right now? Why can I think of the song? I'm nervous, like that's why. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man, and Aretha Franklin song. You know, so I did 2 of those songs, and then the rest of them are standards and originals primarily.
So what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
I hope they get a greater sense of who I am and see themselves in the songs. When I talk about revenge and betrayal, there's a song on there called Say What You Will. And it talks about how evil people can be and the things that they say about you. And it says that, you know, you can say what you want to. At the end of the day, everybody reaps what they sow. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, the people that have heard it so far, have said to me, wow, that song is so deep, because it's not talking about taking revenge. It's talking about walking away with your hands clean and not being pulled down to that level. And so that song is important to me. And I think it has a message in it that's important to other people too. There's another song on there that talks about we all are faced with troubles, and how do you deal with troubles, and just take a look at the beauty around you and focus on the positive things in life, because you don't want to be drugged down by the troubles in your life. You want to excel over them. So I always throw one of those happy, strive over trouble, succeed no matter what, because that's just who I am. That's my mantra about life. So you're going to find love songs, you're going to find sassy songs, and it's okay. You know, yeah, we were together, but now we're not. It's for the best. Bye-bye. Those kinds of songs are going to be in there too. So, yeah.
So what are you doing for promotion, live shows? How is all this going to unravel as we get closer and closer to the 20th?
Well, right now I'm working on a tour, setting up a tour. And because I am an independent artist, I'm the one hustling out there, making cold calls and emails and locking down dates with organizations that will book. So far I have a couple of shows booked in New York. I'm working on Denver and Chicago, and also Texas. There's a really cool speakeasy kind of joint there called Scat Lounge, and its entrance is off of an alleyway, and they focus on jazz music. You enter an elevator and right up to the lounge. And so those are the places that I'm shooting to get to.
Excellent.
And I will be announcing my tours. Probably my next press release will go out in another week, announcing my tours and where I'm going to be.
So if anyone really wants to delve more into all of your work, to find your itinerary as it develops, anything else in your world, where's the best place to go?
Well, if they're someone in media, they should drop me an email so I can connect them to my press agents. I have one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. And if there's someone just interested in finding the music, they should go to Bandcamp. Eugenie Jones is on Bandcamp, and I'm also on YouTube and Spotify and all those sites, but they're not talking about this music right now. It's too early to hit the general public with this music because it doesn't come out until January. Right now, I'm targeting the people that would write about it and the people that will be influencers in the market. And so those are the folks that I'm reaching out to. So those people should give me drop me a note at eugeniejones@gmail.com so I can connect them with my press. And if you're just a fan of the music and you want to know it, go and like me on Facebook, Eugenie Jones Jazz. There's about 5,000 people out there right now liking that page, and you can join that crowd and you'll get the upcoming and new announcements as they become available.
Okay, excellent. Eugenie, it's so
And
great.
the song, wait, before we go,
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin, Natural Woman.
That's it. There you go. That's it. I love it. I knew it was going to come one way or another. It was gonna get in there. So,
Yeah.
well, it's so great to catch up after 9 years. Thank you so much. You look great. Everything sounds wonderful. So keep putting it out there. Yeah.
You look good too. I'm going to go online and look up some of your art. Now that I know you're a visual artist, I'm going to go check it out.
Right on joedamino.com. It's easy.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Oh, say again?
It's joedamino.com.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Appreciate seeing you again.
You bet. Great.
Bye-bye.
Take care.